Hello everyone, Alexander here, owner of Surface Moving, and today here is a video of a 2-bedroom, 1 office with an upstairs household white glove move. And today we're going to be loading up a 26-foot box truck very clinically. So step by step I'm going to explain order of operations and why we do things the way we do things. So as you can see, we just finished wrapping the TV with a quilt and a couple rubber bands. And the first things that go onto my truck are everything that is flat, such as TVs, mirrors, paintings, tables, anything flat, because basically you want to start with the wall. And there's a look at the upstairs, all of the clutter, and we're going to have to unclutter it. So as you can see, we laid a lot of blankets inside of the garage. It's a good staging area. It's wide. You need a lot of space for prepping. And so usually garages are perfect for bringing everything out, prepping, staging by the truck. A lot of times you want to move items closer to the truck, even though if it's not going onto the truck, just so when it does go onto the truck, it's right there and you can just put it in. As you can see with quilts and plastic wrap, we white glove and protect everything furniture-wise, such as wood. And bada bing, bada boom, we are going at it. I got 7 guys on this job, including the cameraman, and me, of course, myself, the owner, making sure the job goes as it should. As you can see, we are prepping everything in the staging area, in the garage, with plastic wrap. When using plastic wrap, typically you want to hook the plastic at the bottom of the piece, whether it's the leg, so it sticks. And then when you hook it from the bottom, you can go around and completely surround it with plastic. So you start from the bottom, go around, and then you purl up the top to seal it. And as you can see, everybody that's not prepping is grabbing and going. All the boxes, all the bags are going to be staged right next to the truck. So we have 2 guys prepping, everybody else preloading and staging near the truck. And this is a good workflow right here because you want everybody to be doing, certain tasks. You don't want too many people doing the same thing, and you want stuff to go as smooth and as fluid as possible. So yeah, we're just getting at it right here. Still prepping those chairs with quilts. Let's take a look inside. We have to disassemble that table, go up the steps. We still have a lot of decluttering we have to do. So we're getting after it. Down the steps. Things about moving. When moving stuff, preferably you always want to slide or wheel things out. So if you're on carpet, down the steps, you can slide things such as boxes and dressers and nightstands. Makes it a lot easier for us. Being a good white glove mover is not being strong, but doing things smooth and easy for the body and efficiency. You see me taking apart the table with a wrench. Take all the legs off, and I'm going to show you something we do in the business. We call this bugging. So I take all the hardware and plastic wrap it all together, and then I'm going to tape it to the piece itself with all the hardware in that plastic bag. This is so we don't lose any hardware, because when reassembling tables and beds and so on, if you lose hardware, it's really frustrating when you're trying to reassemble. So we bug the hardware to the pieces so we never have to lose hardware. It's a good thing. I always do it just because you're notoriously going to be losing stuff with the chaos that is moving. And we plastic wrap all the legs together so nothing gets lost. Let's take a look upstairs. Yes, everything looks like it's getting cleared, and that's the way we like it. Once everything is cleared, we'll have more space to take away some of the bigger things. And a lot of stuff with moving is you have to make space to actually work, especially when it comes to prepping. Here we're taking the mirror out and getting everything flat back into the wall. So mirrors, tables, TVs. And then after that, we're going to do the mattresses, box springs, and that should be enough for the wall. And typically that's how all moves go for me. Basically, you want to start with the wall and you know, build the wall as flat as you can with everything, because at the end of the day, you got to make sure it fits cubically. There I go, bugging the mirror. See that? Hardware into the plastic wrap, and then I'm going to tape it to the leg of the mirror. It's perfect. So you'll never have to lose hardware. And this is good advice if you're just moving yourself and you don't want to hire a moving company and you're interested to see how we do things in the moving business. This is a good learning video, so I hope you enjoy and pay attention. Here we are, mirror to the blanket, we wrap it, and bada bing, bada boom, there she is. Now we are going to take care of the box springs and the mattresses, because that is what's going to go in front of the TVs, mirrors, and table. So as you can see, we sliding on carpet makes it easier for us, less we have to do, the more we can do with our bodies and muscles, because it's all about conserving energy. So here we go. We're going to slide mattresses and box springs. Slide, 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 slide. And only slide on carpet. Do not try to slide on wood floors because you will scratch. It's very situational. So unfortunately, we have a weird 45-degree turn at the bottom of the stairwell, which makes it a little bit difficult, but we get through it. We put blankets on the ground at the back of the truck, because when we stand up mattresses and box springs, if you do not have a mattress bag, I would prefer you put blankets and quilts on the ground, just so nothing gets dirty. Here we are, that's a big dresser. I messed up right here. I stood it up way too early at the bottom of the steps. I should have stood it up earlier to make it past the clearance, but I fixed the issue and it was a pain in the ass, but we got it done. So there we go, heavy dresser. This is why we try to conserve our energy while moving. We have guys taking apart beds, and we're going to be bugging all the hardware to the beds itself, you know, make sure we don't lose any hardware. Here we go, harnesses. Moving harnesses are very vital and important for moving. I do not move without them. I would recommend everybody who is moving houses or moving anything buy these harnesses at Lowe's or Home Depot. Well worth the money and the investment. It will last you a lifetime. So as you can see, we put that heavy dresser in front of the mattress. I call that the anchor. Here I go, rubber banding a nightstand, rubber band to the quilt, quilt stays, plastic wrap at the bottom. There I go, wrap, 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 pearl up the top, and there she goes. And then you slip, you put it on its top side, and you can slide it all the way down the carpet. Very easy, very fast, very efficient. Let's see how they do. I say, get out of my way, I'm gonna do it myself. So I slide that all the way down by myself. Here we go, the header, 2 blankets for the header. Protect all the wood the best you can. Legs, not so much, because the legs are just going to be with the plastic wrap. Anchor the plastic on the bottom of the leg, and around I go. Do rotations, 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 and you pearl up the top like always. Rip it on the corner, and she's ready to go. Here we go for the footer. Same thing. Blanket, 2 blankets on the footer, and you're going to hook the plastic at the bottom, and then when you get that bottom hook on the plastic, you go around a 36 degrees. Wrap, 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 pearl up the top, rip it on the corner, and she's good to go. Man, we're killing this move. Got to be easy down the steps, don't want to puncture any drywall. And now that the anchor, which is the dresser, usually the anchor is what holds the wall in place, and usually, typically, I'd say 90% of the time, your anchor is going to be the master dresser. And after that, you can start rebuilding the wall with the anchor, with nightstands. And then once you have a good base in front of that wall, you can start top loading, which we are about to do. Notice how all the boxes, all the bags, all the little stuff are right next to the truck. So now we can just easily, quickly, and efficiently start packing the truck with top load goods, such as boxes, bags, and misc. And as you can see, we're going to be starting knocking out all the inventory real quick. The hardest part is done. Once you put the anchor, which is that master dresser in front of the mattress wall, with all the valuable flat stuff in the back, the rest of it is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it, but after that master dresser anchor in front of the wall, the rest is top load until you get to later stuff in the move. But here we are, we're just prepping some of the side rails to that bed in the garage. getting after it on these hot summer days. Let's see, what do I do? Okay, dolly with the nightstand, dolly up the ramp with the nightstand. I do a nightstand on top of a nightstand. Pretty good combo. Usually you can tower nightstands on top of each other. Just make sure there's quilts, obviously, so you don't scratch the wood. And yeah, basically try to take a lot of the furniture pieces as those anchors when you put stuff in front of your mattress wall at first. And now we're going to be top loading boxes and making a box wall. Basically a box wall is pretty much how it sounds. Try to put bigger boxes that aren't fragile as base pieces, and then typically you want to put, glassware or fragile boxes up high. Common sense, you don't want the fragiles being crushed by weight. Try to keep plastic totes with plastic totes and cardboard with cardboard. It makes it much easier to fit. As you can see, we're putting a lot of those bags as top load on top of the mattresses. A lot of fluff. We call that fluff in the business. So we fluff up the top. Here we go, master header, bada bing, bada boom. We pick it up and we are on our way downstairs. And obviously you have to be careful of the drywall and the ceilings because we're not trying to damage the house. And beautiful. Out it goes. Onto the truck. Set it to the side real quick as we finish up the box wall and the fluff. Looking good. Here's the other header to the master. Down the steps. Watch the walls. And bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. Out it goes. Very smooth. Very easy. Let's take a look inside of the truck. How's it looking? Box wall is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Here we go. Another furniture piece. Down the steps. I notice how everything is plastic wrapped in blanket. This will prevent all scratches and damages to the furniture. Obviously, if it's not real furniture and it's press wood or press board or particle board, they're still notorious for breaking and scratching because it's not real furniture. So if you are moving and you do break press board or particle board, I wouldn't take it to heart because it happens to everybody. With the chairs are a really good top load item as well. I know it's a furniture piece, but it's so light. It's so, the legs are long. You don't want it to break. So typically I always like to put chairs up high with the fluff on top of the box wall. As you can see, I'm putting the master headers and the footers in front of the box wall just to form that wall again, just to keep building that wall. I'm a master at Tetris, baby. Just watch and learn. Chairs up high, good top load. And I'm still at it. Whew. This move is going pretty smoothly. All we have left is a few minor things such as the living room set and the treadmill in the garage and a few other miscellaneous. Here's the master footer. I'm going to put it in front of the other master headers. Typically, you always want to put master footers and master headers together. Here is one of the living room couches. They should have used a harness and a thread. I was not there to guide them, but it's okay. A little lower lumbar never hurt no one. And with couches, typically you always want to stand up couches to save cubicle feet, preferably the metal bottoms to the couch to the wooden walls of the truck. However, it's kind of subjective and it's situational like always. But typically I like to do couches standing up. But you can do couches horizontally. It's just situational. But for the most times, I like to do couches standing up because, most situations calls for it. As you can see, we are harnessing this big couch, and I believe I'm on the harness, looking like a hoss. And when you harness couches, you want to bend it to the knees. You never really want to harness couches from the back. You want to harness them from the front. Reason being is when you're going through the front door with the couch, you're always going to have to tilt it at a little slight angle, a little 45-degree angle. And so harnessing the front of the couch gives it a lot more leverage and flexibility and mobility for us to turn it through that front door. Harness carrying a couch on the back, it makes it very hard to go through front doors. Just food for thought. After the couches are stood up, now we can just keep packing stuff behind the couches. Couches are another huge anchor that we can just put fluff behind, and it ain't going nowhere. Eventually, we're going to have to put a ratchet strap to secure anything loose behind the couch, and I believe we're going to do that really soon. But as of right now, we are just grabbing and going. Like I said, once you do the wall and once you set the anchors, the rest is almost self-explanatory. The wall is the most important thing because that's what sets you up for success when loading a clinical 26-foot truck. And the move is about, I would say, 95% complete. And there's the ratchet for the final, the final piece of resistance right there. I would not move anything without ratchet straps. Ratchet straps are a necessity for moving. It's really for finalizing everything and holding everything in place, especially if you don't completely fill up a 26-foot truck. If you have a 26-foot truck fully filled up, you don't really need a ratchet strap per se. And here's a little walkthrough of everything that is emptied out and cleared. And boy, did we clean out this house like white glove movers. This only took a couple of hours to do a whole 3-bedroom household move with a stairwell, and boy, we knocked it out. So yeah, looking good. Last but not least is the treadmill, and basically exercise equipment, grills, anything metal typically goes on last, as always. And it just makes for safer, any patio furniture, rocking chairs, treadmills, workout equipment, grills, and etc. Always go on last after you finish the wall. And then we're going to do another ratchet strap, just hold everything in place. Looking good. So yeah, this is basically it. So I really appreciate everybody watching the video. Once again, my name is Alexander. I'm the owner of Surface Moving, and these are all of my guys, and boy, did we work hard today. And this is just the load, so stay tuned for the unload, and if you want to see more content, please like and subscribe and follow the channel. Thank you, and see you next time.